So I would like to introduce our next panel, which is on one of my favorite topics, AI and deepfakes. To moderate this panel discussion, we have Burgess Cooper, sir, cybersecurity partner and deputy leader EY, and our esteemed panelist Rakshit Tandon, sir, director of Code Snack Private Limited. And Deepak sir will be joining soon, and Prasad sir, Vice President Security, Tanla Platforms Limited. Over to you, Burgess, sir.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, CyberFrat, for organizing this event. Great networking, great get-together. Really well done. Kudos. So topic today is AI and deepfakes. And while AI is everywhere, it's a buzzword, it's as reality. We also think areas where unpropagated AI could have major risks. And we've seen areas where responsible AI comes in. And with that, I'd like to invite my fellow panelist, Dr. Rakshit, to give his 2 minutes of opening speech on AI, its risks, and deepfakes, and the countermeasures. So, Dr. Rakshit, thank you for coming out here. Prasad, thank you. We also wait for this, Dr. Deepak. But Dr. Rakshit, up to you. If you can start with introduction of AI risks, cyber responsible AI and deepfakes. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you, CyberFrat, for having this wonderful event. Namaskar to all the panelists and dear participants. We have recently seen the moment AI entered into the light mode and got available through generative AI to everyone. We have been seeing a lot of threats. I will talk about the threats first. We will also talk about the positives in the due course of discussion. But yes, threats we have seen where we have seen AI interfering into politics, creating misinformation. We have seen AI being used as an instrument for cyber crimes, and especially if you look at the current trends of cyber crimes, we have been seeing a lot of online scams related to work from home and gambling and fake trading apps, and where we have seen deepfakes being created with personalities right from Shri Mukesh Ambani to Narayan Murthy sir and to Sachin Tendulkar, which have been flooded on the social media and promoting some applications or games or apps. So yes, these are the threats we have been seeing, and especially when the elections was going on, and as I work very closely as a cyber cell advisor to various cybercrime units, we have been seeing cases of chief ministers' fake videos and other politicians' fake videos getting propagated. So this is one area which is a concern. And if I look at the positive opportunities which we have been seeing as personalized virtual assistants coming on, we have these online stores giving you virtual try-ons where I can try any product on myself. And we have also been seeing a lot of product demonstrations being done with AI. And one of my intern recently in internship at Gurugram Police mentioned that there was a project going on with a very famous automobile dealer where the automobile dealer will talk to you, record your voice, record your call, and then after that, when you come to his showroom, you will be greeted with your deep assistant AI in your face and in your voice to promote and teach you about the car. So, but me being a advisor with cybercrime for almost now 2 decades, my first concern comes is privacy. So yes, these are the topics to be discussed, and I think this panel is going to be very interesting with all these insights coming in. So that's my take on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rakshit. Very rightly mentioned AI in politics, AI in cybercrime, AI in deepfakes, personalities being sort of duplicated in a not so positive way, and the positives you mentioned about wearables and also the car a bit riskier, but I'm sure it has its merits. And if privacy is held right, it could be great. But thank you for letting the lay of the land. Prasad, over to you. What's the risk landscape? What's the trends in AI and cyber? What are deepfakes? Where do you see this going?
Thank you for the opportunity, CyberFrats. Thank you, Burgess, for being there and driving us. Yeah, so this I really appreciate the technology. When I look at it from cybersecurity angle, I get scared, but at the same time, I really understand that this when it comes to AI, when it comes to a technology machine or however we look at it, it can view more, it can assess better, it has more cases to consider and take right decisions and do things that can connect with other devices. And now we are talking about replicating people in real life with actual models, and this is one step before that. That's why I see it, right? Creating videos of fake people. So today in real life, Tanla very often see a lot of phishing in the SMS, or a lot of phishing happening in the WhatsApp messaging, and we keep identifying them. But it's going to be more and more difficult when it comes to the fake videos and fake audios, because the technology is playing a cat and mouse game between the forensic team and between the people who makes it. So I often watch videos of both the teams, how technologically they are catching up. So there are people saying, hey, you can look at the frames, you can identify. There are people saying, hey, that's right now. Then technology is again getting to the next layer, after which it will not be feasible. So looking forward to a legal framework around this game, to looking forward more technical advances to control the technology, at the same time advance the technology. There are benefits in various areas, not looking into when I talk about fake videos, I don't want to call it fake videos, because many a time these videos are good as well, right? It's going to revolutionize the movie industry, it's going to revolutionize the advertising industry, even in terms of cost, how much we are spending on making such videos in reality, right? But at the same time, I'm also worried that the curiosity of making such things might put our young or youth under legal issues at times. So looking forward to a clear awareness in the society as well.
Thanks, Prasad. Replicating people in real life, phishing SMSs, videos, cat and mouse game, and the legal framework, and youth coming under scanner. Well, sort of good initial points. Can I get Mr. Deepak to speak about his opening points? Deepak, welcome to the panel. Your opening comments. We've had AI deepfakes, we've had AI in politics, we had fake videos, and a request for a legal framework. And there are frameworks in Europe and some places. But let's start with your opening comments, Deepak.
Thank you, Burgess, for inviting here as well. I have seen the panelists as well. Good morning to all of you. This is the challenge we can see from the government perspective, definitely, and no doubt, like the pointers which is mentioned over here regarding this deep fake, that is the challenges. I just want to add few things which is very important. Like every technology have a double-edged sword. Sometimes being used for good perspective, sometimes it's being used for the bad perspective. The challenge is there basically when you say if any model has been created, if any technology has been created, so no doubt the hackers, the criminals, the fraudsters are also there. They are misusing this technology, and no doubt these technologies, these issues link with financial frauds, and when it connects with financial frauds, sometimes it's impact individuals life as well. So we have seen that in the today's discussion, the country specific perspective, like what other countries has use this as a good technology, and if any regulations they have created for the same, for the country specific, that is also there. But I would say one thing, like the awareness part, training the models basically, which can really help for the industry stakeholders, and the regulation perspective that really make impact in this particular.
Thanks, Deepak. Every tech has a double-edged sword and sometimes impacting real life. Let me ask Dr. Rakshit Tandon. Doctor, from your perspective, how could deepfake technologies be used to create misleading emergency alerts or fakes? And what are safeguards there? Could you, from your experience of working with so many governments, working with politics, working on the elections area, can give a few examples of what has happened and how does companies and countries safeguard themselves against that?
So, recently, when this election process was going on in Uttar Pradesh, there was a deep fake created. And with the help of social media intelligence monitoring, which we have been promoting in the law enforcement agencies, we were able to nab it in the bud and we were able to pull it down with the help of the intermediaries. And then when with the help of digital footprints, we started tracking and we could easily arrest a person here in Noida only, who was a youth, a 23 or 24-year-old youth, who using this free AI tool, which was available, he could create that content. So the threat was that if that video, because see, we people sitting here on the panel, and there are a lot of student community and there are a lot of IT professionals now who are getting aware of it with the help of lip sync movement, audio, and so many attributes to any video, they can make out immediately that this is a fake video. But when we are talking at public in large, and in a country like India, where we are a proud digital India, we have a huge penetration. Even a vegetable vendor has a smartphone and a QR code on his vegetable thela and selling potatoes and onion. In that kind of a community, when these kind of videos go down into their groups and on social media and on YouTube, then becomes a threat, and it can create a law and order situation in any kind of a community. So yes, we have, and this is, I recently seen this, and with my training efforts and other training efforts to law enforcement, we have seen that now they're entering into the domain of social media monitoring, the proactive policing, what we call it. And there they identify such content and try to pull it down and try to, and even we have seen a proactive approach from intermediaries also, that on their platform they have started adding a report option to report false information and misinformation. So yes, political influence we have seen. Even I have seen a lot of cases of financial frauds being triggered due to these deepfake videos. And the modus operandi is very, very common, that they try to attack an influencer account, a person who has thousands and thousands and millions of followers. And first they take over those accounts, and through those accounts they start promoting these deep fakes of financial frauds, that I invested 10,000 and my 10,000 converted into 3 lakh rupees. Why not you? And you have to join as a Telegram group, and you will do this and do that. And they give these kind of measures. And yes, we have seen a lot of incidences where people have lost hard-earned money just getting influenced by this content. So politically, both, and even in frauds, we are seeing tremendous penetration of deepfakes coming in. And every day there's a new tool which is getting popular, and they are coming in the sponsored list of your advertisements. And they start from $1 to €2, and you just download, and the first 15 seconds of the snippet is free. So, and I recently saw an advertisement that I don't need to come to the conference. There will be a tool which will bring you to the panel, and it will talk like Rakshit Tandon in my voice. So that was again scary. So wherever I'm speaking, I don't know. And which conferences, what am I speaking?
I'm sure CyberFrat is very safe, and we don't trust us to get that, absolutely. But so very well put. You shared the UP example of the politician who was being mimicked, intermediaries who were now being watching carefully. You also mentioned the proactive policing. I like that part. And the modus operandi, targeted influence, and from that person, good. But that's great. On the technology part, you kept on mentioning from €2 to multiple. Deepak, Kumar, from your perspective, how prevalent is this technology? How much is it proliferating? Is it sort of too scary? What are the countermeasures? If there's a bad tech, is there a good tech also? Deepak, your views?
Perfect. Like understanding the perspective of GANs, basically, like how this particular things work. The entire game is about data. The entire game is about data, and as much as we train the data models, then the outputs are really like good or bad as well. So sometimes when you say the technological perspective things over in this deepfake and AI, in Indian perspective, like very fundamental understanding is there, like people study something from YouTube or any specific platform, and they create some sort of videos or some sort of content. That is one. And by the same time, that can replicate for the bad. Mean, like sir has mentioned very good example recently about that Rashmika Mandana case, where it was created by a person, and that video was amazing in the terms of technological perspective. And it's not like the first time it is came in market regarding that deepfake. Since long time various videos are there, but the moment when we interrogate that particular person, like the student, like why you created, he was unaware. He just said that, sir, I just created that video and I found that it's give a very good result. But ultimately, like when you see the negative sides, like the like personal content or some like anybody's anything which is their personal property, personal things like that, without consent, it should not be on public platform. The point one is here, the availability of the content, the application, the data set, the GitHub repo and the library, the train model or the free models, the data models basically, which you can say, that is misused by any person. That is the simple concern. Point number two, when you talk about the audio perspective of synthetic, like deepfake audios, where when we talk about BEC, business email compromise, where it was the vectors, the medium is like email part. But by the same time, when it is being used by deepfake perspective of vectors, where somebody mimicking, and that mimics in amazing manner, like वो वीडियो वो कंटेंट आप खुद भी नहीं समझ सकते, उसको आप खुद जज नहीं कर सकते. Or the people like the age group from 35 to 40 years से ज्यादा जिनका एज ग्रुप है, वो इस टेक्नोलॉजी को जल्दी नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं, and simply they deep into these all things. So the real scenario is what, like understanding the how things are working and understanding how we can counter. It is very important to understand the fundamentals, like in India, like what trends are happening. So morphing is a word which I say a clear word. Even morphing, creating memes, creating GIF, sometimes this is known as the deepfake content in India. Initially, using Adobe Photoshop, using simple tools, using online platform where you can just upload any photo in high definition, upload any voice, something like that, and just click to export result in what format. So suppose we can take like NVIDIA have like their own dataset model, you can say style GAN, they have cycle GAN as well. Similarly, deepfake perspective things are there. So nowadays, what happened that using these technologies, using these commercial elements as well, creating such videos, such content which link with this one, and this create a challenges to the specific perspective. And no doubt, take one real example, you can see meta platform like Facebook and Instagram. You will see the famous personalities and celebrities, even though maximum contents are floating in such manner that more than 80 to 90% people, they're not able to verify that the content is real or fake, even though it's speak like that. So the narrative is there. If suppose you are interested in stock marketing, something like that, so stock market based influencer is there who can say, so आज इसमें पैसे लगाने, इसमें trading चल रहा है, इसमें ये portfolio है. Similarly, a person who is good into betting and gaming, something like that. So similarly, things are there as per the narrative which is there.
Thank you, Deepak. As you mentioned, the entire game is about data, trends, morphing, making GIFs, and even targeting stock market-based influencers. So Dr. Rakshit mentioned about the technology. You mentioned how it's easy. Prasad, as a CISO, countermeasures. How good is the tech to actually defend this? Are we equally there, or it's still a catch-up mode? Your views.
Based on who made the video, right? I mean, it's at different stages right now. Like Deepak was saying, we have a lot of GitHub repos right out there. And every day there is a new guy coming and putting out a new solution as well. It's just not about people. I was watching one of the documentary where one of the well-recognized company, how it reached out to multiple politicians across multiple countries and tried to help them influence, right, using the technology. So like this, there are so many stories where big organizations have, or not very big, but at least good capable companies have taken up such steps. When there is money backing technology, it can always do much better than an individual with a few sets of servers. When there is more GPUs, more quality the video is, right? And when there are more heads behind the scene, always the technology is also enhancing. So when a student community, someone makes a video, like Rashmi's case, Deepak mentioned, it's easy to find out. When there is a organization which is making a lot of money out of phishing today, making a video like that, it's not easy. Even with whatever technology we think of today, I'm pretty sure there is always a cat and mouse game, a catch-up game, and that's how it's going to be. I mean, this is similar to cybersecurity. This is similar to any other vulnerabilities we're talking about, right? There's someone finding it, there's someone catching it up. So one thing I would like to see happening is when there are large corporates who has the capability to identify at least 50 to 80 to whatever percentage number of videos, please share this technology to the community. Please make sure that the normal people have access to understand a particular video is fake or not. Based on, I understand it may not reach 100%, but whenever we have technology available in terms of forensic, let's share it to the community so that even the general public will get to know what is fake and what is not fake.
Thanks, Prasad. Sharing is caring in the cyber world, as you mentioned. The tech is based on who makes the video, rightly said. And then lastly, when you mentioned when money is backing technology, results are great. So Rakshit, Tandon, from your perspective, we saw AI, we saw it's a great sort of, harbinger of change. We saw the risks, but what are the legal frameworks available? Some countries like EU have passed a law. There's Niti Aayog, which is a guidelines. Dr. Rakshit, from your perspective, how much is the framework there to support the AI resilience, and who's actually leading that in that phase?
So I think there's a lot of work to be done in the legal framework. As of now, we still are running with an IT Act, which was created in the year 2000, and we are in 2024 now. We do have amendments coming up. We do have new rules, intermediary rules coming up. And this year, with the new intermediary rules, we have already mentioned and taken a part of this, of impersonation and all. Even in this, Deepak, which he mentioned about the Rashmika case, this young engineer student who was arrested, he very funnily said that I just wanted to boost my followers, but he was booked under IT Act only, and it was IT Act section 66D, which said impersonation in any kind is a offense under the IT Act. So if we look at the current framework, yes, we are ready to handle this. But yes, when it comes to AI and the part of ethics and censorships and privacy, there is a lot to be done. Though we do also have now DPDP Act, which will again be enforced in the coming years. But I think the work has started. Yes, there is a work going on the ministry and the government level, and looking at other countries, we have started working on the part of the framework to adhere more strong laws and regulations. And I think mainly we have to be worried about the ethical considerations of AI. So as I previously mentioned also, that an automobile dealer will think that to lure my customer, if I create a deep fake of his voice and his face, selling him the car will be more influential. But the idea is genuine. Like recently, I heard somewhere that very soon on our social media sites, we will have use of AI where Rakshit would like to dress up as Burgess sir, and I will just have to select your profile and I would be dressed like you. And thinking like and looking at the ethical consideration, it can be misused also. But so I think we do now have to sit down very closely. Currently, especially looking at a country where political influence or deep fakes and fake information has always been a concern. I remember when there was no AI so popular, that time also fake morphed videos and fake morphed pictures have created law and order situations, and we had to impose curfews and 144 in sensitive areas where a fake picture of a particular animal or a particular religion was posted on social media. So, and now with AI, which is going to actually weaponize this thing, yes, more stronger legal frameworks need to come out. The first step is already being taken by bringing the BNN as the new Bharatiya, the new law. I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce that properly as on now. It's not able to. It's IPC याद रहता है, but BNS अभी नहीं याद हुआ है. But yes, there are a lot of changes in terms of digital evidence have come, so that shows the intent of the government that yes, we are concerned about these threats. So let's see. We will be seeing a lot of Bharat Nyay Sanhita.
And if somebody in the panel wants to mention somebody, I think we're not sure who get the comment, but if they want to put the camera on and speak about the new act, very happy for an audience person who mentioned that to actually speak for a few minutes. The
BNS, yes.
Moderator from CF100 can unmute that person. If somebody wants to mention about the new act, very happy to. Somebody wants to come. I'm not unless who the person there was who mentioned that.
So it is BNS, and there's a lot of.
Kumar, would you want to speak about the Bharat Nyay Sanhita Act? Unless he's not able to unmute himself.
Might be in the audience. So
okay, if you have this, go ahead, sir.
So I was just saying that we have seen a lot of new additions to electronic evidence, and in this new law, where we have we have made admissible video recordings, and we have created an online platform to accept that evidence. So from the law enforcement officer perspective, it is going to help us a lot to get the first evidence at the first level. And I think for considering AI, yes, a lot of work has to be done. There have been a lot of empowering tools we have been seeing coming up in open source, which can detect deep fakes, like deepware.ai is a one tool. There is another tool, sensitivity.ai, which are open source, and they are very helpful in detecting these kind of deepfake. There are some algorithms which are openly available. There's one wonderful platform of fake catcher from Intel, which is available, and especially our CDAC has done a wonderful job called Fast Check, which is a Government of India product made by CDAC, which we are also using in our law enforcement agencies to identify these kind of deepfake videos and deepfake images. And yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you, Dr. Rakshit. You mentioned about the new intermediate rules, the Bharat Nyaya Samhita, how you want to call this one person who want to boost his followers under the ITPC Section 63 of IT Act. He was imprisoned. And the most interesting part of the ethical considerations of AI, and more so the weaponization of AI. Prasad, back to you. All this is scary, but there's something called responsible AI, which has multiple pillars of ethics, transparency, privacy, security. How well are companies adopting responsible AI, which is a good countermeasure as they develop new tech? Is responsible AI a built-in framework, or it's a bolt-on later on approach?
Yeah, privacy is going to be, I mean, that since we have a privacy concern, we call it deepfake, right? Else it should have been called in a different fashion, because we started seeing the creation of the videos impersonating others without their consent, without their permission. So if things are done in the right fashion with the right consent from the people, so it could be a great way to get it done. So the overall, the consent game, I can see DPDP also coming with a lot of focus on privacy, on the users, privacy on the data, and how people are going to consume it. If legal frameworks are built around it, and if companies can do a really good job of doing the right things, it's we are going to have this technology going in the right path. But at the same time, what I'm worried is the access of this technology to the mass of people, and at the same time the digital unawareness, or if I call it uneducation, among the people of country like India, across the states, right? When we look at our billions of population and the globe, and how many of them will really understand what the software is, how it functions, right? So to that community, we are going with a technology like this, and they're going to believe it 100%. At least good number of people are going to believe it 100%. Irrespective of, I mean, people like us may go behind the tools, may go behind understanding the reality and start figuring it out, but many won't do that. It's going to be a big hit on the privacy. It's going to be like, so what I'm foreseeing is companies might even start creating their own AI avatars, which is not impersonating any of the people, and you will start seeing the very well-known faces who doesn't exist in the world in the coming days, so that many of these privacy concerns also may go away in all sort of videos, all sort of communications across the globe. Thank you.
Thanks. I like the part about digital unawareness. Back to Dr. Rakshit, you mentioned about proactive training to people, to law enforcement, to proactive monitoring. How are people? AI is tough enough. Responsible AI is even tougher. Learning deepfakes and countermeasures is much more higher. How is the law enforcement and how are the other companies actually training their people to ensure that they're able to mitigate this, detect it, respond to it, recover from it? What sort of training is going on? What are you doing to help this? Can you share some best practices, please?
So I've been a part of BPR&D as a eminent trainer for quite a long time now, and I've been traveling to various academies for various programs, though my subject has always been cybercrime investigations and forensics and cyber intelligence. But for last 3 years, when I'm playing a role, I've been appointed as a consultant to CID, Haryana Police. Since then, I've seen even BPR&D has been running regular programs on AI, deepfake modeling, and even Deepak would agree, I4C, which is the main body right now and which has been very, very active in coordinating these cyber crimes in India, they have been actively participating and training law enforcement on regular basis to understand AI, the impact. Yes, if we talk about tools, as I mentioned in my earlier part also, that CDAC has come up with a tool. There are other companies which are coming up with AI detecting tools. Plus, there is also, we always call it the human in the loop verification, that in case you have something, so you should have human moderators who can reviews and flag this kind of content. There is a need of active collaboration with researchers, which is very important part which we should not miss. Because see, in the last few years, we have seen AI, ML becoming a subject. There's a lot of research happening in various academic institutes. And if we do a collaboration with them, so as recently even in our state, we have done collaborations, academic collaborations with organizations like CDEX and IITs. And that is really helpful.
So what about what about the collaboration between sort of industry? So while you said academic is happening, is industry and government collaborating a lot? Is there good traction there?
Yes, there is. And we have, if you look at the current requirement from any state or central agencies coming out, is we are either talking about AI or we are talking about dark web monitoring and investigation. And that is where the industry's participation is very crucial. And they are coming up with technologies and tools and collaborating to enhance these capabilities. And yes, the most important part is awareness and education, which is very important to how to create awareness on these deepfakes and how to identify them, and inculcate a habit of zero trust also in the users, looking at the current scenario of cyber threats.
Thanks. So Prasad, we have AI in cyber and cyber in AI. To what extent is AI influencing the effectiveness of cyber tools? And can you speak about some of that from your examples, from your experience?
AI's power is like Deepak was telling, data, right? So when a human analyzes, he has his own limits, but AI or our technology do not have it. So it can look at the entire paradigm of history, years and years of various ways in which different hackers have reached out to us, different patterns in which different phishing has happened in the past, and identify a particular transaction is right or wrong. So that way AI is helping us a lot in the game. But even when it comes to voice, or even it comes to video, even it comes to messaging, any technology you look at it, even it comes to phishing, or just the way in which a hacker reach out to you on any of your attack surface. So AI is becoming just not one of the element in the game, it's becoming one of the major tool in the game, right? To identify, to protect, to look after the entire IT assets today in the industry. So I am pretty sure if there is any security engineer or any of the leaders in cybersecurity space here in this call, all of them will be using tools which are assisted by AI in one or other form, because all these tools have data access and have access to the past, and will be able to identify to this, right? When it comes to having tools in place for deep fake videos, yes, we have a good number of them already in place. And even these tools which will identify deep fakes are driven by AI technologies, are driven by various good minds to identify the right frames, how it is switching. We talked about taking a 1-minute video of a person and creating a different video of him looking at different faces, right? So how the technology works is the same way how the technology should work to identify the same, go in the same fashion, go in the frame changes, go in different angle changes and things like that, and finally reach there. So yeah, it's a people plus technology plus AI game. It should work together.
Thanks. And Deepak Kumar, from your perspective, Prasad spoke about AI in cyber. What about AI in forensics? Is it really doing a game changer there also?
Definitely, like entire thing is about the understanding about the artifacts, and in forensics, like if the tool you're going to create, the parsers you're going to create, you should know exactly what you're going to parse. You know exactly what is the footprints, what is the element you're going to study in the document, in the data, in the evidence, basically. So AI in forensics definitely play an important role. Initially, first we know, like as Rakshit sir said, about the emerging threats which is happening pertaining to this deep fake and the defect technology, even though AI perspective, then only we can able to create or build the solution for the same thing. So now pertaining to the industry, basically they integrate one module called CSAM. Suppose CSAM content is there in any mobile device, in any laptop or any storages, basically. So they understand exactly this content comes under child sexual abuse material or CP content. That is one element which is there. Accordingly, they can create hash value, and that hash value can able to check with the NC line, or it could be anything which is a negative repository of the CSAM content. Now talking about the other indicators, like in banking sectors, in other critical sectors, like how these AI can really play a role. So we understand exactly the issues, the challenges. Accordingly, we can integrate. So now deepfake perspective, which you mentioned over here, we talk about so and so company create one tool, so and so technology create this tool, but every tool have some limitations, false positive. So now if we completely depending on one solution and we upload one video, one deepfake video, suppose you take a real example, आप ट्विटर पे जाइए, ट्विटर पे you can see various deepfake videos are circulating, for example, as a study perspective, as a threat perspective. You download those video and try to treat with this solution, and you know exactly that video is fake, but still solution can able to say no, it's not fake. So we can't depend on one solution, or you can say we can't depend on these things, because as much as we can train the trainer, basically the model, then only we can able to get a good result. So now sir also mentioned about the human angle. So now what happened that in human we can't depend on the AI perspective. Like human intervention is very important. आप किसी वीडियो का बीच का स्नैपशॉट लीजिए and do a reverse image of that thing. If that thing is available on internet or any platform, sometimes that can give better result as per the tool you do like have. So it's like a balancing thing. I can't deny or say like, you know, we can't use this solution, but yes, tools really help. And the manual human intervention is also very important for the same thing. Training part, like sir mentioned about the training part, training is really important when we know the problems. If we talk about technology, AI क्या है, deepfake क्या है, इसका plus क्या है, इसका negative क्या है, legal क्या है. Legal framework regulations comes with the case studies, with the data. So my objective pertaining to Indian cyberspace perspective of regulations and things, which is linked with the issues which we are feeling in Indian perspective, like deepfake videos pertaining to so and so, AI is used in so and so place. So that about the things. So forensic perspective, yes, industry have to work on the same thing. Some solutions still they are working, but again we have to take the signatures, the vectors from Indian perspective. A very simple situation: if I'm using my mobile phone, if I'm downloading any APK file, then I am the Indian user, I have a APK pertaining to Indian citizen. But same APK talk about like US and Far East country, they have different APKs from their perspective. So my deepfake content, my political perspective, my educational perspective content, which is there, we have to train as per these example sets, these data sets. Accordingly, we can train our concern, and then we integrate this signature or solution in our forensics tool, which can detect and give a false positive or false alarm or red alarm that yes, something has been found, and that can be treated as a important substantial evidence for the investigation perspective. So that is my take for the same thing.
Thanks, Deepak. We started a great session from the benefits of AI to the risks of AI to the legal framework, the training, to the tools, the technology, forensics. As we come to the end, I just like a minute from each of the panelists. Next year, same place, same time, same CyberFrat session. What would we talk about? Prasad, smiling, your happy face from you. What will be the topic? How will things have changed? Your last 1 minute to close.
Okay, your question is how things will change in the next 1
year.
year.
1 year from now, rapid change in technology, controls,
I mean,
legislation.
So if we look back, the before the ChatGPT and after ChatGPT, the entire world changed. And the way in which the software engineering worked has evolved a lot. Right now, I don't want to comment on it, but many of the engineers don't work on sitting and coding. They actually have most of this thing done by one of the AI-based tools. And today, companies are suggesting employees to consume those tools for the work, right? So AI is changing the world. The speed of change is exponentially increasing. So a little scary as well as excited, looking forward. I don't know how things will evolve. It's because it's not imaginable, and that's how the speed is. So I'm expecting that the tools that are today, which is doing the forensic, which is identifying the fake videos, 99% will not work after a year, because the other side of the story might have improved their GPUs, might have improved their capabilities in all sort of ways, right? And deep fake videos or the fake videos will evolve much better. It will not be easy to identify what is right, what is wrong. And I also look at the industry evolution in it. If you look at the movie industry, and you may have a AI endorsed action hero in the people's mind, who could be the #1 hero in India. We can't say anything about it. So looking forward, I'm not very clear how the world is going to be on this space, because the speed of change is very high. But always I'm expecting the cat and mouse game to go around. Looking forward to the legal framework, looking forward to Rakshit, Rework, and others who's working very hard to safeguard us, to look the governments. I'm pretty happy that the governments are catching up. The governments are catching up in terms of skills, knowledge, and positions in terms of interactions in the industry. Really glad to be part of this country. I'm pretty sure that the game
Thanks,
will be
Prasad. And it's
going on
catching
with a
up
good.
thanks to people like Dr. Rakshit, Tandon, Deepak, Kumar, your own company, and many others. Thank you for that. Yes, world will be different place. Look forward to session next year, same time, same place.
Thank you.
Deepak Kumar, from your perspective. Thanks, Prasad. Lovely comments as closing.
Thank you.
Next year, same time, same place. What will we talk about?
Look,
What's
first I
the
would like to say thanks to Gaurav ji and their team, Rakshit sir, especially because of him, we help to law enforcement to countering these issues, because training is really important. Tools आए ना आए वो चलता रहेगा, but human angle interaction is really important. Like you ask really good questions, and all the participants, they have good answers as well. Chat GPT, entire generative AI's contents are there. We can also do homework, but again we have to verify. Trust but verify. That is my angle. And next year definitely we'll check about the new emerging technologies perspective, like what new things we have integrated. That is my part. Thank you once again to all of you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Deepak Kumar. Jai Hind. Trust but verify. Rakshit Tandon, we started with you, we'll end with you. Your closing comments. Next year, same place, same time. What will be
next
the
year, if next year, thank you, Burgess sir. Next year, if same place on same Zoom, if we are sitting, so I think the AI will be asking a question to us: how to save the human race. And so, but yes, this
how
was
to
on
save the human race? I like
human
that.
how to save the human intelligence from AI. That would be the question asked from the AI bots of all of us. So, but on a lighter note, but yes, seriously, things will evolve. And but again, coming back to all the organizations which are working in AI and the consortiums which are going on worldwide, they've already started talking about having a kill switch. And there was a recent discussion in Europe and UN where they were talking about this. But I think it all depends upon the coders, the programmers, and all our AI ML experts who are now coming in the industry to please focus on the ethical consideration of it. Yes, there is a lot of benefits coming out of AI, which is going to help the human race, no doubt about that. But then looking at the threats, there should be the ethical consideration of it. So yes, let's see how it shapes up, and we'll definitely meet on the same place, same platform to discuss this. Thank you, Burgess sir. You have a wonderful question. Thank you, Prasad sir, and dear Deepak, for this insightful interaction. Namaskar and Jai Hind from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rakshit. Thank you, Deepak Kumar. Thanks, Prasad. Thanks, Gaurav, and the entire CyberFrat team. Back to you, Nisha. On time.
Yes, yes. It was indeed a great discussion, so I really enjoyed it. And all the things which you have covered up in this discussion, it was like very insightful. So I would like to thank you, all of you, to taking your time out and coming here to speak on this platform in front of our audiences. It was really great, and we are grateful to have you all here today.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.